Hey guys, it's Choco here, and I'm going to show you how I did this edit. So first I started out removing the character completely from the background reference I took, which needed to be clear enough that I could edit it in the future, so I needed good lighting and clear enough colors that I could work with. I then worked on the background, which I messed with for a long time. I knew I wanted her to be in a pink room, all sad that she didn't win the pageant, so I wanted her to be kind of like a princess. So she has like a really fancy room and everything. So right now I'm just blocking in the colors and rescaling her to a part where I'm happy. Here I'm adding the soft shading, which I will blend in a second whenever I get it all down. This is just so it adds some more dimension whenever I add the hard shading. I do this to the entire drawing, but it's sometimes kind of hard to see. I'm working with it for a while. This part was probably half of the drawing, actually. And I wasn't really happy with the colors, so I actually end up adjusting them a little bit to make it warmer. And you can see that I'm just about to mess with the scaling and stuff like that whenever I add her back in because she's on a different layer. Messing with that because I changed the size. And here I am adding some warmer pinks, and I add the lighting in with a screen layer with like a hot pink. I'm adding in a white light just to like accent it even more, and I think I'm about to go in with the line art after I crop it. I like to have the character bigger in my edits. So yeah, here I am doing the line art, making sure it's soft, but also making sure it matches with the character. Yeah, I'm just adding in the drapes, making sure the everything is aligned. I don't end up liking the lamp, so I changed it a few times, but I wanted to make sure it looked like there was light coming from it, and it wasn't just like a dark pink like that, so I end up changing it. Here I am doing the cell shading in a different layer with Multiply, with like a pinky color just to match the background, which I end up using the same color for the character. Here I am adding hard light, and here's the lighting effects, which I do with Multiply. I add a hot pink and I add a black just to to accent the lighting for the lamp, which I'm now changing because I didn't like it before. I'm about to change the character a little bit, I believe. Yeah, you can see me kind of smoothing out the colors and the hard light, and I fixed the shoulders because they were kind of disconnected. I'm getting rid of the bow, which I tried to work with for a little bit, and I realized I kind of wanted the hair to be in it a little more, but I don't decide that until a little later. I'm smoothing out the dress now. I just use the smudge tool. I'm using Procreate, if I didn't say that already. I use an iPad Pro 12-inch with an Apple Pencil, and this is the full version of Procreate. So I'm still going in and doing that, just smoothing out everything. And let's see, where am I? Yeah, just fumbling with removing the bow right now, doing the hair, which I color matched from the rest of the hair. I kind of wanted to do this edit to show off the hair because there was new hair added at the time whenever I made this. And just going over all the mistakes I made, removing the bow finally, and finally changing the background so that it looks smoother from where I left it. Making the lighting a little darker to match the character, which I am adding the blocks of color like the second place award, and getting rid of the sparkles in her hair, which ends up taking a while. You can kind of see me messing with the face a little bit, messing with the sparkles. I think I go up to the top of the head in a second. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Then I adjust the colors a little more, and I'm about to work on I think I'm about to work on the face. Yeah, you can see me messing with the lighting, smoothing it out just a little more because it seemed a little harsh for me. I worked with that for a long time. Making the lighting a little more accented, making sure that it looks like the light is coming from the lamp. And here I go with actually changing the expression. I didn't want her to look angry. I wanted her to look sad because she didn't win. I didn't want her to be, kind of a mean girl. I just wanted her to be upset. I didn't really know what I wanted to do whenever I started it, but I decided that I didn't want her to look mean, so I end up adding tears. This is in a different layer. Most of the things I do are in a different layer, but I kind of work at everything at the same time, so I do the whole body shading at a time, but I did all my face adjustments in the same layer. So, let's see. I think, I'm gonna change the eyebrows and add the shading to them. And I think, here's the tears. I just pressed lightly with a regular, I didn't use any lighting effects or anything. Here's the line art. I start with the hair usually because it's actually the easiest part for me. I just get the flow of the line art really easy. This is in a different layer too, obviously, but I use the normal, basic layer type. I work in groups, so I do all the pink things and all the skin tones at the same time, just so I don't get lost and I don't forget anything. Just working with that right now. I use the same line weight so it looks cohesive, and I'm just adding in the gray and the white of the shoes, which I try to ombre a little bit into the purple that I used for the line art because it changes. I work on the crown, which, I just trace the shape of the crown. I think I end up blending in, you can kind of see me messing with the crown a little bit because I wasn't happy with how it looked. Here I am adding the cell shading on the body. So I'm using like a pinkish, like a multiply layer that I use for the entire body, the same color I use for the background. And I just barely blend that in, and just make sure I'm paying attention to the light source, which, as I said earlier, is the lamp. Making sure it looks dark enough that it looks like, that's the only light that's on. So I'm adding it to her body, her dress, her shoes, I think, in a second. This part is pretty quick for me. I don't really add a lot of lighting. It looks like I add more than I do because I take good pictures for my references. They kind of do some of the work for me. I added a darker color there, just for more dimension. And here I am adding the highlights, which are just white on a regular layer above that. And I changed the color of the line art because I thought that it was too dark. I made it a little higher, and I adjusted the angle of the eye because I thought it looked a little too, tilted for my liking. And I'm messing with covering that up because I actually already, changed it to a layer. Add highlights in the eyes, mess with the background and the lighting effects. I end up doing a soft light with pink. I played around with some particles, but then I decided against that because I thought it looked a little tacky. So I just add my watermark and that's it.